Hey guys, Averbird aka Draman here, and me and Danny from Dreambubble and Steven from Dreambubble have just got finished watching the recent Media Molecule stream showing their sculpting in create mode for the PS4 game Dreams.
Ooh!
And what was that?
That was Jimi Hendrix.
That was Jimi Hendrix plus Panda plus Mech.
Plus ATSTs, like, there's just so much, there's so much definition in this game. Like, it's insane. Like, when me and Steven were initially watching, they were like, hey, you know those rules in, like, most 3D applications where you make stuff on a grid and you have to look at a grid while you grid? No, you just trust that the grid works and you don't have to look at an actual grid. That's perfect. And, Steven, I know for a fact that you don't like using grid in LVP. Like, when I use grid, you always make jokes at me saying I shouldn't use grid. Tell your opinion on the grid in Dreams.
The grid looks good.
You see that?
I mean, you don't need to see a bunch of ugly lines to have a grid. You just have it line up properly, and that's good.
Yeah, you don't even have to see it. It's pretty cool.
And it's like a angular proportionate grid. So it, like, the way I describe it is like a free-flowing grid, because if you want it to be like a traditional grid, you could, but they have it like as, like, you can angle snap to certain things. You can have it to instances of like, hey, it hit this sort of object, so it's gonna clip to this object and then, you know, be angular from there. And it's so cool. Like, that's how all grids should be in any, like, sort of instance of, like, 3D engines.
All that really matters is the proportions anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, like, perfect.
And speaking of proportions, that duplication tool is something else. Like, they would do one thing, and then me and Steven would be like, oh, whoa. And then they do a completely other thing, we'd be like, wait, whoa.
Double whoa.
Like, that whole demo is just whoa. Like, I was live tweeting, or at least trying to live tweet during that whole entire thing, and my body just couldn't handle it.
You weren't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. I was keeping up with the GIFs and the images.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was something out of this world. Like, just their engine. And the undo. Let's talk about that.
It was immediate. There was no rewind. There was no VCR effect. It just
It's to the point. Well, then again, it's alpha phase, so maybe there might be a noise.
It can only get better.
Yeah,
hopefully, yeah.
That means it can only get better. That's the fun part. And I loved how they keep talking about how unstable the engine is and how unstable the game is. And the only unstable things we saw, the biggest thing we saw was at the end when it crashed. After
it was an amazing closure.
Yeah.
It's like end scene.
Basically,
performance over.
The game was like, okay, you showed off a little too much now. Time to stop. And I love how Anton, that was Anton, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I love how Anton was like, this is a level within a level. And I think for the split second they showed it before it crashed, that was the scene that they used in the Paris Games Week demo, the library.
Yep.
Or not the, like, the big, like, library with Mighty Mouse or anything. It was the kind of like the study. But the fact that they had that super detailed scene, super huge, next to a smaller scene, really showed the scale of like how they were building. Because I thought what they were building was huge until they just were like, nope, it's not huge. You're just imagining that, and it was just the coolest thing. And like how Anton said, like, you know how traditionally when you have fluffy things in engines, it's like super expensive and super consuming on the engine. Nah, we're turning that on its head. That's exactly
the opposite.
It's the exact opposite. And I was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't say these things and expect me to, like, not like freak out about them. I think Steven had a good point in the when we were watching it, and he's like, when we watch LBP stuff, we're more interested in like how like they create like actual things.
The things that they make.
Yeah, exactly. And with this game, it's the complete opposite. Like, they just drew stuff together, and me and Steven, and I think most people are more interested in the, like, how the tools are being used, because they have these tools that seemingly are just for like basic functionalities, and then they just like, nope, let's do them in the complete opposite way. It's like they're just reconstructing how these tools work, how the materials work, how the grid works. Like, they take one thing and then flip it on its head and say, oh, we're going to use it in a different way. And that's a cool thing about Dreams. Like, that is so cool. Like, that seems to be their motto. We're going to make something and then use it for a completely different purpose just to say we can.
Yeah, like when they used beavers in Little Big Planet 1 to make anything look brown.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and how they just, cause it's funny when they mention painting, because I think like, what was it, like 5 to 10 minutes ago, when they had like the dolls, the Russian dolls, and Steven was kind
The
of...
Kalinka football soccer guy, yeah.
Yeah, like freaking the doll, yeah, the, what was it, Marashiku?
Matryoshka dolls?
Yeah, Matryoshka dolls, and Steven was just like, that looks very clean. I wonder how they did that, and then they're just like, oh, here's a painting. You can paint, by the way.
Wait, when they mean by painting, you mean like you can paint like art?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
carving
Yes.
sculpts?
You can paint.
They showed off an actual portrait that I guess somebody drew,
Yeah.
and it was just a piece of canvas with a painting on it.
Well, I know I'm not going to be using Blender anymore.
No, it's like, why would you need it? And then, like, I just had an epiphany. Even though I keep hearing, like, you can 3D print stuff, when I saw that mech and how clean it looked and how smooth it looked, I was like, I can make stuff like that in Dreams and just export it to a 3D printer, or export it to Unity, or export it to Blender. Like, that's insane. Does no one, like, realize how revolutionary that is?
Really big news, I agree. I talked about it too a lot. I'm like, what? Like, is this a game engine? Is it a game? It's both, and it's more than that.
Like,
you get to stretch to the world.
Like,
Like-
this is the craziest hybrid of a game that I think any developer has achieved. And, like, I know I'm kind of being biased and fanboyish, like, obviously, but, like, even if you take all that away, the fact that they fit in a mechanic to where you could download your own, like, models into a zip file and use them for 3D printing and, like, putting in other engines, that is unheard of unless you're in an actual 3D engine. Like, usually, like, even with PC, if you want to get a, like, let's say Lewis from Left 4 Dead, and you want to put him in, like, Blender, or, what's the Steam, movie maker thing called?
Source Filmmaker.
Source.
Yeah, if you want to put in Source Filmmaker, you have to rip, like, physically rip the files of the model and the textures of the model and kind of convert them to work in there. Dreams is like, nope, you don't have to do that.
Wow.
And I think
When you guys were
Left 4 Dead
talking,
stuff
when you guys were
supports
talking,
the
my Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came in. I'm like, I don't care about this anymore. I just threw it across my bed.
It's like, I love how I can be excited for something, because I was excited because I was talking to my friend about Call of Duty actually before the stream started, and then Dreams happened, and now I'm like, why do I even care about anything else? I can make a shooting game in Dreams if I want to. I really want the next stream. I was suggesting to Steven that they should just take pictures of, like, people and just sculpt them. Like, I would love to see, like, them take a picture of a person and say, like, oh, we're gonna make him like a cloudy looking a thing. We're gonna make him like a puffy cloud thing, and just, I want to see that. Also, yeah, they need to do more audio stuff as well to, like, really hook in the people like me who like the voice act, and I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna have something like that, and the music people.
I want to see them, like, I want them to either bring back or recreate the original first band thing that we saw when they announced it for the PS4 originally. I want to see what that even is.
Yeah, that's interesting. I want to see. Also, I want to see them play around with, like, the gameplay aspect more. Like, oh, hey, this is how you do first person. This is how you do third person. This is how you do top down and 2D side scrolling stuff. I want to see that. But, like, just everything in this stream was crazy. They showed people taking spears and just, like, how they could just carve into them. They showed, like, hard surfaces, fuzzy surfaces, smooth things, duplication, like, just so much stuff.
Made a tree out of spinning donuts.
Yeah. And I love how you can control the spin. Like, originally when I saw the spin, I thought it was, like, just, like, oh, you could just spin it fast and then move from there. But no, like, you can just, oh, hey, spin really slow. Yeah, just do that. And then spin really fast if I want to do that. Like, there's this engine. I keep calling it an engine, but really it's the game. That's the crazy thing. It's the game, not the engine, technically. But the game has so many instances of, like, variety. I think the one thing we just need to see right now is how, like, can we actually make water look like water and not just, like, fluffy, like, cloud stuff that's, like, that's impressionistic.
You have to wonder about transparent things. Have we seen anything transparent yet?
The 3D printing. It was transparent, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's like just 3D printing. That's like filaments and all that stuff they use. But like in game, I don't think we've seen like anything truly like transparent, like water or like Jello
or ice.
Oh no, yeah. You know when they said they wanted to make a waterfall, right?
Yeah.
Where's the water?
The waterfall was like impressionistic, like fluffy stuff, which is fine. But I just hope they have like, you know, shaders for that. Like they said they have like a subsurface scattering type shader with the imps.
Oh, and Alex was like, "You can't say that."
Yeah. So they're basically just alluding that they have a similar shader to that, but it's probably like cheating in a sense. Because I bet like having the subsurface scattering shader in that game would probably be very intensive, especially with the way they were just duplicating. Like when they did that twister, I was just like, I was turning my head at the angles they were pulling off with that. Like that was cool. Everything about that whole thing was cool, but like just when they started twisting stuff and duplicating stuff, like that was neat. And just like they made like stages within like 10 minutes. Crazy weird stages with stuff that like you wouldn't even put together or think to put together.
And that's Media Molecule.
Yep.
They make things that not anybody else would ever make, and that's what makes them unique and special.
I can't wait to put my hands on this game.
I need a brain surgery when this game comes out, just in case I put my brain back inside my head.
Exactly. Oh man. So I think we talked enough about this stream. So I'm gonna end it right here. But Danny, Steven, what are your final thoughts on the creation engine in general after seeing these two create streams?
My PS4 is my new laptop, and that's what I'm going to use to develop games from now on. Done. Media Molecule, how in the world will you top this? If you can, then you can't. That's the best part. I'm getting dreams. And so is thousands of people. So head on over to Dreambubble and come discuss that amazingness with us. And thank you.
So when did this turn into an advertisement?
I would say, ooh, nice self-advertising. No, I don't mind it, because I honestly think Dreambubble will be like really big. So please support Dreambubble, like you have to, guys. That's like, I feel like that's the only Dream site I've seen so far. Like I don't.
There's one more actually. PlayStation4Dreams.com. It's run by Subkento. It's a really great blogging site. It reminds me of Rocket Cheetah actually from Little Planet. And that's like the only ones I know of so far.
See, Danny isn't about just self-promoting himself and his site. He's about promoting all Dream stuff. So still,
Yay!
Yay! But yeah, what are your final thoughts, Steven?
I'm gonna be spending too much time on this, I think. It looks way too fun to make it.
I'm gonna make the next 3D Flappy Bird, get tons of whatever, and then I'm gonna jump out of college and live my life like that.
Sounds like a good plan.
You know what's kind of funny though? Say if like you're having a rough time in life, and then if you go on Dreams, you can just re-sculpt that moment, use VR to relive it, and in a much better way.
Oh, I totally keep forgetting about VR. Jesus.
I know, it's... Or if you want to scare the crap out of somebody, forget haunted houses, use VR to make a really scary dream, or whatever.
I was saying how, I'm gonna make PT, but instead of having like the Lisa demon, I was just gonna have like a completely non-threatening like character.
Oh hi, can I be a part of your childhood?
It's gonna be you, Danny.
It's gonna be me. Three beans.
It's like, hey, join Dreambubble.
I won't chase you.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think we gushed about Dreams enough for one video. We could save it for more. So thank you guys for listening to this awesome video. I will make sure to have more Dream stuff as the time goes on and more streams go on and news. So if you want that news, stay tuned to my channel, like and sub this video, and I will love you forever.
Love you. +1.
Thank you, Danny and Steven, for kind of gushing with me about this video and about Dreams in general.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Again.
Again and again and again.
Again.
And as always, I'm Akdraman, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys.